I remember it was Good Friday, 2005, and I was visiting our Seabees deployed to Iraq, and I was in Fallujah. And we had a Good Friday service of the Word, and afterwards, a young ensign came up to me and said he was Missouri Synod Lutheran, and asked if he could have private communion. And it was such a joy to be able to share that with him. But as we were talking, turns out that he was from the same congregation that my 94-year-old grandmother attends in Minnesota. And plus the pastor of that congregation was a classmate of mine from the seminary. So to have that opportunity to serve on behalf of our congregations and to bring Christ's body and blood to our service members, even in a combat zone. Plus, it was very reassuring to my grandmother when she heard from her pastor that I was okay. I'm very thankful that I have such a supportive family and devout Christians that trust God even when we're in dangerous situations. My wife has been very supportive, and my children in that regard. So, but it is indeed a great joy to serve Christ and to serve our congregations as a military chaplain.
John, you've been in the United States Navy for a long time, and now you've been nominated for the President of Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. What's prepared you for that position?
Well, Scott, first I'd like to know and understand that I did not seek this nomination. And when people asked me, I said I did not aspire to this position, but I am willing to serve. If elected, I would view it as a call from God, and that's how I've basically approached any assignment that I've had in the military, wherever I've been sent. But by God's grace, I would do the best I can with His help and the prayers of others. What I think God has allowed me to have, though, over many years, a number of experiences that may well prepare me. First of all, as far as education, the major for both my Master of Sacred Theology and Doctor of Theology degree was historical theology, with a special emphasis in the history of the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. And then my minor for both degrees was systematic theology. I specifically focused on our Lutheran doctrine. And so I'm well versed in the theology and history of our church body. And then I've also been blessed to serve as a guest instructor at Concordia Seminary while I was working on the doctorate, teaching courses on the history of the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. For 1 year I served as assistant director of Concordia Historical Institute, and then many years in the Navy, serving in a very large organization that has involved working with many different kinds of people, including people of other faiths and chaplains of other faiths, leadership, administration. So I've had a lot of experience in that over the years.
John, what do you see as the key issues facing our synod, and how would you help resolve those problems?
Scott, I see the key issue facing our synod is that we are divided. We're divided in doctrine and practice. The primary purpose of our synod is to maintain the unity of the true faith. That is articulated in our Constitution. And so I would see that as the primary purpose of the President of the Synod, is to work toward maintaining the unity of doctrine and practice. I would do that by encouraging and supporting disseminating sound scriptural and confessional materials, particularly for our pastors to use in educating parishioners in the key areas where we are divided. That would include church fellowship, including communion practices, doctrine of the ministry, means of grace, and other issues, so that we are truly gospel focused. We have been influenced over the years as our church has acculturated into American life, and leaning either toward liberal Protestantism or now fundamentalism. And it's hard for a church body to be gospel-centered when it is at a crossroads, stuck at a crossroads, wanting to go one way or the other. And so we need to be truly gospel-focused and truly Lutheran in our identity. I would work at supporting scriptural and confessional resolutions at our synodical conventions that would support unity of doctrine and practice, and encourage our district leaders to support and advocate for the same.